You think I'm risk averse when it comes to dating?
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too, do you want a traditional woman?
Do I want a traditional woman? How many women are traditional, though, is the thing.
Not
Okay,
in
you know what you
America.
gotta try, Brian? Get on
Born-again
Bumble.
Christian, I don't know about.
Get on Bumble and set your location in different cities and go find you these women who aren't in LA.
Well, like the thing is, right? Just one other point with the like not wanting to pay. A lot of people are dating multiple people, and I've said this before countless times. One of the reasons I don't want to pay for a first date is I don't want to be a sucker. So like a lot of girls when they're single, and a lot of guys move this way too, they're like dating and sleeping with multiple people. They're single, they're hooking up with a person here, hooking up with somebody there, have three, 4, 5 people that they're fucking or dating in rotation. And it's like, I'm going to reserve that treatment to somebody who's loyal to me. So you don't get girlfriend treatment until you're my girlfriend. So I think going into a first date, you kind of have to go in 2023, like assuming this person's like could be fucking multiple other people right now. I would feel like a total sucker paying for a girl that just fucked a guy the night before. So
I can understand that.
You know,
That
The
sounds,
same thing.
yeah,
You know-
can be
I can
returned
understand that.
on, like I could be going out with a guy and he just
sure.
fucked like 2 girls.
How do you get past
I
that?
wouldn't even know. Like that's the whole point of
How
you
do-
just starting to date somebody. Like it's not like privileged
Well,
information.
I would
anyways,
like
it's
to meet a
how
girl
you would
that's
feel.
not moving like
I was
that.
gonna say,
though.
or just don't date people who are, dating and sleeping with multiple.
But how do you
people.
know? Because people be
You
lying.
don't know until
people
you
are
like
lying.
feel-
You can still
into it.
feel somebody out, and like even how quickly they try to advance things with you, you can tell sometimes plenty to know.
Or maybe
Eh,
pretty
pretty
Not
early
there,
on.
here's the thing though.
I don't know.
There are girls that their previous 20 sexual partners they fucked on the first date,
Yeah.
and then they meet you,
Mhm.
and then they're like, you know what? I want a boyfriend. I'm gonna try this out. Let's wait, and then they make you wait. So it's not necessarily an indicator that they don't.
You girls
have
all
a
know this
promiscuous
is true.
past.
Okay, when I to be
Wait,
fair with you,
hold-
Brian,
Hold on, one sec. She had something. Go
I
ahead.
said they see something special. You're worth the wait, right?
Wait, no, it was something before. I think you had a point on.
Oh, like how do you get past that stage?
Yeah, how do you get past that?
How do
Well-
you get past the whole? Okay, we're just going on dates. And, hey, now you're my girlfriend. So now I'm gonna be paying for all this. I'm gonna be taking you here and there, and you're gonna be my parents. But how do you get past that? How do you?
How do you
know,
get there?
What does
No.
the transition look like
Yeah.
from
Like how do you
dating to
start
exclusive?
being?
decide.
You having some trouble? No.
No, you said I'm not gonna treat you like my girlfriend until you're my girlfriend. So do you just like treat them like a side until you're ready to be like, hey, yo, let me.
I need to know that you're not talking to other guys and you're just talking to me and that we're exclusive.
Some communication.
But how does she prove that to you? Like,
Well, it takes time.
right.
Yeah, but
It
like,
takes
what
time.
are the steps to like proving that to you? Like, do I have to like give you my
Or
phone?
like
do I
the
have
indicators or like.
Well, you got it.
to
You got.
like what? Like I feel like
Spending time
communication.
with you.
I think the girl has to be the one that broaches the exclusivity conversation.
Really?
Okay, so
The
like,
girl
you just
has
have
to
have
be
a
like-
full conversation.
Yeah, the girl has to be like, "Will you be my boyfriend?"
So trust.
huh?
So
you
trust.
think that the woman should be asking the man? to-
Definitely.
That's 100%
Definitely.
a conversation the girl should
Okay.
initiate.
No way.
You
Yeah.
think the girl should initiate
I like
asking out the
that.
guy?
No, not asking out the
Like
guy, but
making
like
it
you've been
exclusive.
dating and
Oh.
then
What are
she
we?
wants
Do you guys not
exclusivity.
find that
Advance
to be a
So what
turn
are
on?
we
Advance it to that
now?
level.
No.
Yeah, most of the time it is the woman.
Simping-
that's-
simping
I
is
think
hot.
I think a lot of men might perceive that to be a turn off, and I think a lot of women.
Well,
believe
those
that
men
that would be a turn
don't
off.
want to like give
Have
any
a-
commitment
yeah,
to
have
that
a
girl.
committed
But if
relationship,
you really like the
absolutely.
girl and like you've been like holding your like frame for a while,
Totally.
and then
You're
she
gonna
comes
have
to you
that.
and she says like, "Oh, what are we?" and you've held out.
I think
kind
it's
of.
obvious at some point.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well,
But if you're just like fucking a girl and then she's like, "What are we?" It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian, I don't know. Maybe I'm changing my mind here. I think okay, I might experiment in just splitting the bill all the time, because you know what? If I split the bill, then I feel like he will feel that he has less. He won't come on and try to turn things sexual so quickly. Like, I feel like if I just split all the
Sorry,
time.
hold on.
Disney
just a
92
sec.
donated $99. Brian, number 80. Bro, what a refreshing group of gals. Would love to talk to these ladies about life in general, seem chill. Elizabeth Bro, she's absolutely stunning. If I had Insta, I'd do her. Oh well. Love the show, made this account for you, bro.
Dude, Chris Disney, thank you very much for the TTS. Much appreciated, man. Yeah, 80 was a good episode. Elizabeth, she was cool. Thank you very much, man. Much appreciated. Go ahead with your point.
I was just gonna say it might maybe it'll keep in the guy's mind like we're friends only, and it will keep them from trying things so quickly.
Okay,
if I don't allow him to be paying for me.
Well, there's 2 points there. So there's definitely like scumbag dudes who feel entitled to sex if they pay for you, which I disagree with. I think if you
A lot of them do.
There's guys like,
and
oh,
then-
I bought you dinner, like, you know,
Right.
that's really scummy
yeah.
if a guy has an
Yeah,
expectation of sex. But the other thing is like they'll view it as a friendship. I don't think like, I mean, like as long
I
as
think
it
I'm trying
started
to ward
off.
off the scummy guys. Like, oh, okay.
But
You
can
know,
a
the ones
friendship
that-
really
that do think
exist
like
between
that.
a man and a woman?
No, I'm not saying platonic.
I've
I'm not saying
definitely-
platonic. No, I don't have close
Well,
friends.
it's
Just
so
about
long.
every friendship I've
If you're
tried to
on a
have with a
date
guy,
with a
it's
guy,
the
isn't it
friendship.
necessarily like if you've just gone on a date with a guy, I don't think whether you split or not like removes the romantic undertones of
No, but if
your,
the guy's scummy, because this is what
Oh.
I'm thinking is
Wait,
like
so you're-
guys that go out and then they pay and then they think like, oh, I can try and come on to her or whatever, you know, and I that makes me very uncomfortable. So I'm just saying maybe I'll experiment with splitting. I don't know why
To-
you're
As
why you're
like an
fighting me on
indicator of,
this.
like, a
I'm
better-
telling
Well,
you,
it-
maybe
it is-
maybe
It's
I
just your,
will try
your
splitting.
motives. Your motives. That's the
I mean,
thing.
it would potentially counter that cohort of men
Yeah.
who feel entitled to sex because they've just paid for your dinner. I think though that's really scummy behavior.
It
to
is,
feel
it
like
is.
entitled because you've paid for a girl on a date. But so it could potentially fend those types of dudes off, but romantic. Yeah. So, okay, so wow, I've changed your mind. Congrats.
Maybe.
But I mean, I don't know. Wait,
Yeah, I'm still confused. Do you want a traditional woman?
What do you mean by
okay,
traditional?
so
though?
so do I want a woman with like a low body count who's like
Yeah.
feminine and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because I feel like when you tell girls, oh, you're on OnlyFans, but you want a traditional guy, doesn't make sense. That's how I feel about you. Like you want a traditional woman, but you won't take that role in the beginning.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Because I think you're going to push away a lot of really great traditional women who you would totally be into and vice versa.
Sure. However, can we agree that the discrepancy between not wanting to pay on the first date, like let's say the social faux pas or the egregiousness of, no offense to the girls here who do OnlyFans, doing sex work is like way more non-traditional than a guy who just wants to split the bill. Like, can we agree that that's skewing further away from tradition?
I don't think the tradition matters. I think how much it can be a red flag. In the same way a guy will shut down the body count, a girl could very well shut down you
Sure,
based off that
yeah.
decision. And I also think, like, there's just risks you have to take in dating. And I think if you know,
But
use
I've
your-
already laid out the scenarios where, like, if she's in college and she is, for
Yeah.
example, traditional, and you know she's younger, she's not making a ton of money, then I'm more obliged to pay for the first date. However, if you're a professional career woman, I mean that in and of itself is kind of non-traditional.
Okay.
I think it sounds like you've kind of just accepted like anybody that's going to weed out and turn off from seeing you as a romantic partner. You've kind of accepted that.
Yeah,
And you
well,
kind of
and-
take it as well, I don't want to be with that person. They're not right for me.
And I mean, the other thing that I would point out when it comes to this is that women who require romance, they're just not really that into you. Like, because a girl will,
So are you
a guy who's attractive enough, you're not going to be, even if he doesn't pay, maybe if it's your preference that he pays, if he's attractive enough to you, if you want him bad enough, that's not going to deter you.
But then, like, what do you expect a courtship to look like?
What do you mean?
Like, in terms of getting to know somebody when you first start dating, what do you expect that to look like if there's not going to be any romance involved?
Well, what
I think you're, like, exaggerating the term romance a little too much. Like, we're
No,
not,
what do you
no
mean
one's
by
looking to, like,
romance?
have rose petals laid out on the floor constantly.
when I say romance, basically just, I mean, as the guy, obviously paying for, romantic overtures,
Sure.
flowers, gifts.
Well, those are
that
things
sort of
that you,
shit.
like, especially the flowers and the gifts. Of course, a lot of women appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I love flowers. Gifts, I don't really care too much about, but I'm a sucker for flowers.
You go on a first date with a guy, he
Yeah.
shows up with flowers.
That's too much.
Yeah, way
Who said
too
that?
much.
Depends.
You said
I
that?
think if I'm going on a
Oh,
first
well, hold
date,
on. It's too much. See?
If
There
I'm
you
going on
go.
a first date with a guy and he's pulling up with flowers, I think he's trying too hard.
If
Exactly. But that's why all this like romantic shit, it's no longer appreciated
Yep.
en masse. Because as a guy,
On the
it's
first
like
date, I think-
50-50. Either the girl appreciates it, or honestly,
I think-
more likely than
Yeah,
not,
see,
she's
I
gonna
would
be
love
like,
it.
Is this something? If a guy can show up and be himself, it shows. Like if he shows up with flowers, I'm wondering like, okay, is he trying to make up for something that he feels like he lacks?
But why do you think that? Why is that
I
not
mean-
just a kind gesture that somebody
I
does?
mean, it
That's
could
a
be
very
kind
classical gesture.
I think more so like
That's the norm these
It's
days,
too much.
though. Like that's the norm in terms of like romance. But in other countries, like I travel a lot and live in Europe quite a bit, and in those countries, women love that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
Love
it'd be
it.
nice. I guess it's just more so. I mean, it depends on the context of if you've met them previously. If I met them in person, I guess I'm thinking first date of like, let's say it's off of a dating app. Let's say it's off of like a dating app. If it's off a dating app and I'm meeting them for the first person, which I'm not even on dating apps.
are you
but,
on
like,
Farmers Only?
hypothetically?
Christian Mingle? What are
Right?
you on?
I'm not on any
Is there a
dating
dating
apps.
app
I
for
actually
Mormons?
don't like dating apps.
Mormons.
There is.
Excuse me.
Depends on-
LDS,
There is a dating
or-
app. It's called Mutual, and
Mutual?
it's literally it is
Fuck.
just.
Depends on the
What's,
dude.
what
though.
is soaking? Is that what do you know what I'm
oh my
talking about? Is that?
Are we really getting
Sorry,
into
are we-
that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this?
It's
What is
uh,
it?
Haram!
I'm sorry. I heard it's a
Yeah.
thing that's done. Okay, I don't know.
It is a thing it's basically I don't
Sounds like
even know
a-
what to talk about. It's
okay,
it's just
never
like a
mind.
loophole
I
for
apologize.
virgins.
I'm
who-
vile.
It's not even I don't know. It's just weird. There's a lot of like guidelines, I guess, or
Okay, but so
Yeah,
you're on
guidelines of
Christian
the church.
Mingle. You match with a dude. He brings you flowers. Turn off.
I guess it's more so like I guess okay, you're right. It really just comes down to how attractive he is at the end of the
And
day.
also
but-
how confident he is as well. Because
Right.
if he's
I
a
think the way
confident
he
man and
carries
he
himself.
does that and he's like dressed up nicely
I
and he
think-
gives you flowers, it's going to be like
Yeah.
that's a for
I
me.
think
that would
it
be a
depends on
sign.
so many
Also,
factors. Like
I-
they could sweep me off their feet. Otherwise, like I could just be like, oh.
If he was
like,
giving you
eh.
flowers, like please love me.
Yeah, exactly. And I
course.
guess
That's
maybe
what I
maybe
think
I've just
no
had
one's
some
Yeah.
experiences like that.
No woman's gonna like that.
But flowers is like.
I don't think the flowers are the make or break factor.
Yeah, that's
in that
that's what I was
situation,
about
though.
to say. Like flowers is never going to be, like it's never going to be a maker.
No.
And so
It's
what's
of
the
course
point?
just an app, but it is just an app. Okay, so when you're especially in the first terms of dating, you of course like have this slow build up, and it either obviously like takes off or drastically declines, and you stop dating that person. But there are little things that somebody can do that slowly speed that process along.
If it was a guy that I had known previously as well, if I'd met him, even if
Like
it was
drug
like I
use?
met him in public and he like
Drug
asked me
use
out
is a
that
hard
way or
no.
got my phone number that way, and we've been chatting like a little bit, then I feel like that's a different situation from somebody that it's your very first time meeting them, like a blind date type situation,
Yeah.
situation almost, or like a dating app type
See, I still
situation.
don't agree. I think that, like, okay, obviously, in the sense that we were just talking about, if someone shows up super nervous and really unsure of themselves, flowers aren't going to make or break that situation. That's them. But if somebody shows up and is very confident and shows up with flowers, whether it's the first time I'm meeting them or not, I would absolutely appreciate that.
I agree with you on that
But
one.
these
I think
days,
it is how they carry
these days,
themselves at the end of
guys
the day.
have to absolutely wait to do that sort of stuff.
I just want to ask, why is it that you guys so fervently support a patriarchal, traditional belief that men should pay for the first date?
I never said.
Are you
I never
guys in
stated my
favor of the
stance.
patriarchy? Hello?
I
I am.
Absolutely.
Is the
Do we ever
patriarchy
say
kind of
that-
Does this feel
awesome?
like
Yeah.
reverse
It's kind of
psychology?
great.
Like,
Okay.
I appreciate the
You know what?
patriarchy.
Can I say to the
Appreciate
flowers
patriarchy.
thing? I think there's a real problem in our society with apathy in general, but especially when it comes to dating. It feels like a contest of who cares less about this relationship.
Sure, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
That's true.
People can be more like nonchalant.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, who's
an
less
exclusive. It's an
invested?
exclusively thing that's happening in the West, though. Like,
Yeah.
guarantee
Yeah.
you, like we have a very strange and sick dating culture.
Absolutely.
Over here, and like I said before, you have to really wait before you give those gestures over here. Especially, and even if you're somebody who appreciates romance, you just can't take that chance anymore. But if you do that in other countries, then women will really, really appreciate it from the jump. So
I think because
Word.
there's a lot of people have fear about like the love bombing thing. I know like
It's a strange
talks
concept.
about that, about just
It is a
coming
very
on
strange
super
concept.
strong, and like you said, it's
Little
just the culture out
attractive.
here.
Like coming on super strong and then like retracting like out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Kind of thing.
yeah, romance is dead.
We have to
Killed it.
we have to get a couple of chats out of the way. We